All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Conversations with team leader Laura Gleason and myself, Kristen Wilson, operating principal broker at Keller Williams Realty Mid-Willamette. If you are not from around here, it's Willamette, damn it. Everyone around the country sells it different. Okay. We are excited to be sharing about one of I think it's both of our pretty much favorite topics when we talk about the different Keller Williams models and systems is actually our culture and our belief system. And so Laura is going to be sharing each one of those. We'll show it to you here in just a second. And then our topic for today is the second one, which is integrity. So let's review.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that you all can see what we call our belief system in action. And we also affectionately call it the WI4C2TES because that's the basically first letter of all 10 of them. So it's our acronym. So in order, it's win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust begins with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. And the first time a week or two ago, we talked about win-win or no deal. And as Kristen said, today we're on our second one, integrity, do the right thing. So Kristen, when you think about our belief system in action, what does integrity, do the right thing mean for you?
Yeah, I love that it's our second one or up at the top. I believe that we are in an industry where probably if you ask most agents what's important to them or what's the value they have in operating in business, they're going to list integrity somewhere in the top 5, right? And yet what I found in coaching a lot of agents in our company and around the country is that often they don't have a definition for that in their day-to-day work environment. For me, it's the little things, right? One, obviously we are in a fiduciary role, and I haven't met anybody, very, very rarely do we meet anyone who doesn't take that seriously, right? I mean, we don't get into this business and then stay in this business and not all feel accountable to that fiduciary role. It's not the kind of business that attracts somebody who wouldn't. However, the do the right thing part, that integrity out beyond the fiduciary, I think is where that people have to define for themselves, and the lines can feel blurry. And I want to clarify why I'm saying that, because what it means to someone else might not mean the same to another. Right. And so that's where we can get into sometimes a little bit of conflict where an agent thinks or a client thinks that somebody is out of integrity when they're actually not. They're just working for their client and doing the best to represent somebody else. So what I like is to have the conversation and first of all, to say to everyone, define how that looks in your day-to-day life.
That's good.
Set your own guidelines and own standards and expectations around what integrity and do the right thing means for your business. 2, share this with your clients. You know, this is such a winner when you share this, that, hey, on our side, on the Keller Williams way, these are the things that we hold to, and talk about that, but say, and we don't control everyone else, but just because we don't control them doesn't mean that they're not being in integrity or doing the right thing. And I guess I'm going to the side where I see this show up and people are feeling like that's not happening, because that's kind of some of the best examples I have. One of them is, I was in a deal with a co-broker, and the co-broker had done everything right, by the book, high level fiduciary, turns out I ended up working with a buyer who was very naturally suspicious over everything.
Mhm.
And by the end of it, we agreed not to work together, i.e., she wasn't going to be a fit for me or the other agent either. And she, the whole entire time, kept calling into question our integrity.
Mhm.
And I 100% will say that neither one, myself representing her or the other agent representing the sellers, were out of integrity.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, the right thing to do for me to stay into integrity for myself, my business, my company, and also respect for the other broker.
Yes.
I don't believe that this is going to be a time that we can work together. And I think that you and your husband maybe need some more time before you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think really honestly it came back to that, but every step of the way was suspicion. So that's kind of the negative piece. And I think the positive piece is all the beautiful side about this is, you know, sometimes things just get wonky in a deal, right? It's emotional. People want something, they don't get it, they get disappointed. And it comes into question occasionally, like, well, you should do that for me as my agent, or can you do that for me, or will you take care of that, or were you right? And I always say, come back to this, like, what's the right thing? If it feels like the right thing to do it. I'm not gonna lie, we bought some grills, some lawnmowers, and some washing machines because at the end of the day, there may have been a miscommunication on the other side. Somebody
Yeah.
accidentally took it, or my seller took it and moved to another state and didn't forgot,
Right.
like, what have you. None of these are intentional, but we want to
Right.
make them whole. And so we just, in our integrity, to commit to the word, we do the right thing. So that's some of the ways that I've seen it. How about you, Laura?
Well, I 100% agree with you on so many of those points. And I want to go back to, I love that win-win and integrity are the first two principles or parts of our belief system, because they really do go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And for me, when I think about integrity, similar to what you said, I think about how we interact with our clients. Is it in their best interest? And how we interact with the other agent and the other agents in our office and the other agents outside in our community as well. And for me, I think when we think about the other agents inside of our office, one of the things I love about KW is that we have this belief system, and it helps us draw, you say draw your line in the sand, because
Yeah.
we have this belief system right here, and we can say integrity, do the right thing. Is it a win-win? If it's not a win-win, it's no deal. And we can draw that line in the sand with our own agents, with our own environment here in the office, as well as how we interact with the agent on the other side of the transaction, which sometimes is a KW agent and many times it's an agent from another company, and also how we interact with our clients. And I think about, I'm going to say competitive win-win. We are, if we're in a sales profession, we typically have a competitive part of our personality. And
Oh, yeah.
so I wrote down in my notes, competitive versus integrity. And for me, competitive sometimes can show up as win-lose. Oh, great, I'm going to win, and I don't care if you win or not. You can lose on this one. But integrity always shows up. You can still be competitive, and you want to win-win in every situation. So we can still, because what's great about a win-win with integrity in it is everybody wins, right? It doesn't have to be a win-lose. Everybody wins on that one. And for me, Kristen, I believe this is what you said without saying it. For me, it always goes back to what helps me get a better night's sleep at night.
Oh, yeah.
And when I know I can end my day feeling that I did the right thing for my client, for the agents in my office, for our community, for the agents outside of our offices, I know I did the right thing. I sleep better at night. And that's, to me, really where I draw the line in the sand is I know what my integrity values are, and I'm willing to stand up for them. And I also know that those integrity values create a win-win. That's my goal, is to create a win-win, not a win-lose.
I love that you bring that up because as I think about that, I think, you know, there is that competitive component, but it doesn't have to result in not staying in integrity, you know. And I think, you know, what comes to mind is we're also a realtor office. We are a part of the National Association of Realtors, which means that we're all in agreement, as well as a lot of our co-broker offices, to follow by a code of ethics.
Yes.
And that code of ethics is all about having integrity, right? And so we are in agreement to function and operate within our company and with our agents and with co-broker agents that we're, you know, doing deals with, within a level of integrity that keeps us to a high standard.
Right.
I wanted to say what integrity isn't. Integrity doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. That's not the same thing. Guess what? Sometimes we're going to make mistakes. They're honest mistakes. We're going to blow it at times. There's no perfect agent. If you tell me there is one, or if somebody tells me they're perfect at their job, I'm going to be questioning their integrity, right? I mean, nobody's perfect, but here's where integrity comes in when we make a mistake, is that we take 100% ownership. Right? Now, that's how we can serve our business, our clients, our community, the co-brokers best, is by, man, the second we realize that I missed this, or I believe, just own it. Own it. If you own it, you're in integrity. Trying to blame somebody else or shift it or cover it up or hurry up like fast, maybe they won't notice. Now that's where we get out of integrity, right? And so, and then the other thing in being integrity is not assuming that somebody else is doing something that's not in integrity. Now, what do I mean by that? We communicate through text, email, right? Contracts as agents. That's the reality of it. And when we read a line and we think, wow, we're accusing that their intentions come from a place out of integrity, that's actually like saying, I'm a mind reader. I know what they're thinking and I know what they meant by that, right? And that is a place of not being in integrity, is treating someone else like they aren't when we actually don't know. And so I think it's great to again, hold ourselves to what it means to us, choose how we're going to function and operate in that, and set that standard for ourselves, and create that expectation both for ourselves and others that we're all operating in integrity.
Yeah, love it.
Any final words on that? We could stop sharing, I guess.
No, it was good. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved everything you said. Well done.
Well, thank you guys for listening. And next week we are on
Customers always come
first, which is, you know, I love it. A little twist on, you know, customers are always right. Actually, they're not. Come first.
Right.
All right. Thank you guys.